All right, what's going on, fam? It's your boy Bobby Patterson, aka Bobby P, coming to you with another episode of the Victor No More podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I appreciate all of you that's actually on here right now and is on the way. Trust me, this is a very special episode of the Victor No More podcast, so please share. Please tell your friends, especially those individuals that, either are dealing with an autoimmune disease or they may know of someone that is dealing with an autoimmune disease, because tonight, this is a special night. This is a very, very special night. And I already see our guest here, so that's amazing because I want to get started here very, very soon. But the reason why this is so special, after 25 episodes of the Victor No More podcast, this is the first episode which it doesn't involve, the guest is not involved with total life changes. And I wanted to do that on purpose. This individual that's coming on tonight, I guess you could say I've been manifesting them for quite some time. I saw this, the summertime of last year. And I said the time is coming where I'm going to have her on the show, because what she does is amazing, who she is amazing, and you have got to hear her story. So let me see if I can go ahead and bring her on. In the meantime, as I'm bringing her on, please share this podcast. Hold on for one moment. Let me make sure I get her on here. I hope everyone has had an amazing day. All right. So she is getting ready to come on now.
Yay, we did it. Hey, Bobby, how are you?
Yay! Because technology trips sometimes.
I'm new to all this technology last year. I'm like, it's working. This is what COVID did. So how are you?
I am doing great. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give her the proper introduction. This beautiful woman that you see here in front of us today, trust and believe her story is powerful. She is amazing. But even what I'm about to say is really not going to do her any justice, because once she starts telling you her story, you will see why she is the autoimmune bully. Her name is Anita Monique. This is someone that I resonated with basically from the first time that I saw a video or a post from her, because her and I have somewhat of a similar background. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis back in 2006. And, after a few consultations with my neurologist, they were very insistent about me taking, a particular protocol as far as, medication is concerned. And I chose to go a natural route. And, I will, kind of elaborate on that as she's telling her story, because there are so many parallels. But you have got to hear not only, how she came into the diagnosis as far as what she is dealing with now, or what she has conquered now, but how she has literally developed that as it pertains to autoimmune diseases, and literally given the clarion call and the awareness, especially in our community, as it pertains to autoimmune diseases, and how we really need to treat ourselves when it comes to our eating lifestyles. I don't even like to use the word diet anymore, because it really doesn't do it any justice. It doesn't do it any justice. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I want to introduce to you Miss Anita Monique, the autoimmune bully. Thank you for coming to the Victor No More podcast.
Of course, Bobby, and thank you for that amazing introduction. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to speak, because this is 100% my passion. I never knew I would be the autoimmune bully. Like, honestly, I never knew. I liked my life before I was a bully, right? I never planned it. And God is like, this is what I created you to do. This is what you're going to do. So get ready to do it. So I'm happy to be here, happy to talk about it. So I wanted to start, before I tell my story, I wanted to start with a quote, right? I wanted to tell everyone, because I believe this, my life, aside from being a health coach, right? This is my everyday life. If you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right. either way it goes, right? So whatever you believe, if you work towards that, you can obtain it. It doesn't matter what it is. So I'm going to tell everybody why I'm so passionate. Number one, I'm from Jersey. You can see how I talk with my hands. I can't help it. I'm so Jersey. That is 100%. But I would say my story starts in 2016, right? As far as it relates to autoimmunity.
Okay.
In 2016, I was originally diagnosed with MS, right? So that is what made me become a health coach. I'm now a health coach. I'm now a Dr. Terry Wall's vegan healthcare practitioner.
She is huge. She is tremendous. Her story is amazing all by itself.
Yes. And I always tell people, especially in our community, like I'll start with that, right? Do you know who Dr. Terry Walls is? Right? Because I would tell anybody, any of my clients, that's where you want to start. You want to start with the book, right? Because she made the impossible possible. And if I can be honest, that is where my start was. I was like, wow. And I'll talk about that later. But okay, so being the autoimmune bully came from 2016 when I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Doctor said, you have to take this pill for the rest of your life. Injection, actually. It was an injection.
Right.
You have to take it for the rest of your life. And that scared me. Right? Why it scared me is because that same exact time I watched my uncle die from diabetes, right? He went from 1 pill to 5 pills to 10 pills to eventually a whole bag of pills, right? And unfortunately, we still lost him. So when doctors said you have MS, you have to take the meds. If I'm being honest, everyone, I was scared. Like I was afraid because the medicine didn't save my uncle. So I was like, oh my goodness, is it gonna do that to me too? You know? So I was afraid of it. But I went home, literally, I prayed about it. I prayed, and doors of healing has been opening from there, right? I woke up to a holistic doctor, the crazy thoughts that I had in my head, right? I was like, I think I can do this naturally. Doctors told me you cannot do it naturally. And I just wanted to do it naturally. I woke up to a holistic doctor who used to be a pharmacist. How amazing.
Wow.
Yes.
Amazing.
That's
amazing.
Used to be a pharmacist, so he knows all the ins and outs about medication, right? And I was just blessed. And that's when, honestly, my journey started. I started from there, and I thought, honestly, that I would just hop out of the bed. I wouldn't have any more symptoms, right? I wouldn't have any more symptoms of MS, and we can jump into the symptoms later. But God is like, no, I have something else for you, right? I'm going to heal you. I heard your prayer. I'm going to heal you, but I need you to do something for me too. And that is what this is. That's why I had these pink scrubs on, because I really want to let everyone know, especially it's Black History Month, especially people that look like us, right? Melanated people, we need to know this stuff is hidden. We are so obedient to whatever a doctor tells us, we listen blindly for it. And I'm not negating anybody that takes pharmaceutical medication. I'm not telling you to stop. If it's working for you, continue on, right? I'm doing this for the people it's not working for. For anyone to say there's only one way, I was like, no, I'm created by God, so I'm gonna use His way. And that's what I've been doing. So, and the multiple sclerosis, people are afraid of it, right? I was afraid too, but they're always like, I'm so sorry you have it. And now I'm to the point, honestly, where I can say, I'm not sorry. It made me a better person. Like, it literally made me a better person. Now I can help people. I learned about my body. So now I can help other people learn about their bodies. I was determined to treat myself. And although I've never taken a pharmaceutical drug for multiple sclerosis, I am treating multiple sclerosis. So that's important. I know we're going to get into that conversation later, but that's important. My MS is treated every single day. But that's the beginning of my story.
Now, before we go any further, as far as the story itself, I want to kind of hit the very beginning. Like, how did you even get to a place where, okay, there's a problem here. Because usually how it happened for me,
Mm-hmm.
and unknowingly, I didn't know that they were symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And
Right.
at that time, I'm working hard. I have my mortgage company. I got a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I started noticing little things that was happening with me, like my scalp would just catch on fire for no reason. But just as quick as it would come, it would go away. But the telltale sign for me was I basically went blind in my left eye.
Okay.
I woke up one morning, my eye was sore, and I didn't think anything of it. But I noticed gradually over, a couple of days, my sight was leaving, and then just that last morning, the pain was so tremendous. I was like, "Oh my goodness!" So I go to the doctor, and to make a long story short, because that's another live as far as my particular discovery as far as MS. But my big symptom was optic neuritis,
Mm-hmm.
which basically I had went, mostly blind in my left eye. What was that one triggering incident for you?
And I believe my first was optic neuritis, but it was an isolated incident. It was only one incident.
Okay.
So back in 2016, and I'm really lucky. I will tell anyone I'm lucky. I worked at a major ophthalmology office, right? That is what I was an optician. So I worked there. It was a day in July of 2016. I was having an argument in an old relationship, right? I was having an argument. We were watching television, and then the main character's face went blurry in my right eye. And I was like, wait, I do eyes for a living. This is normal. I know this is not supposed to happen.
Right.
But it was because of the stress of the argument, right? Thought I was relaxing by watching television, but the stress already triggered something in my body. So I'm lucky enough, right, that I can just march into that doctor's office, and he was an amazing doctor. And he marched into his office, and I was like, this is what happened. And silly me, I was like, doctor, this is what happened. I stopped in my contacts. I won't ever do it again. I thought it was so simple, such as that.
Mm-hmm.
He ran tests on me all day. So it's an ophthalmology office. So there were all different type of tests. I told him what happened. I did tell him that I had weakness in my right leg, right? And I didn't think anything. I definitely didn't think MS, right?
Right.
At all. But I told him those things, and he's brilliant. He's brilliant. Also a fraternity brother of mine too. So this is why he was honest and said, hey, this is what it looks like. I cannot diagnose you, but I am going to get you a referral to see a neurologist because it looks like that. And my jaw just dropped because I literally just turned 30. I was like, what in the world?
Now, let me ask you this, because I remember that moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
When those words rolled off of his lips, what was going on up here?
And I trust him so much, right? I trust him so much. It wasn't official. It wasn't an official diagnosis. He was just saying, hey, this is what it looks like. But hearing those words, if I'm being honest, I was like, this cannot be possible. I'm a Black woman and I'm only 30 years old. Because if you Google it, right, you'll see all older women and they were white. If you do a quick Google search. So I was like, no, this cannot be it, because it wasn't an official diagnosis. So I remember getting my first brain scan, and silly, Bobby, if I'm being honest, silly, I celebrated with another one of my friends, like, oh yeah, it's nothing. I did it. It's over. Come meet me. Let's go to happy hour, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Because I was 36 when I was diagnosed. I heard it, but to be honest with you, it really didn't register with me as a reality till maybe about a year later.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, I'm struggling, but I just didn't want to accept it because I'm like, man, I'm young, and just like you're saying, the majority of people that you would see have it weren't us
right
at that time. And the only point of reference I had from a time standpoint, Richard Pryor.
Right, right, yep.
That was my point of reference, and I'm like, and so ironically, just when it comes down to autoimmune diseases, and I was reading somewhere between 75 and 80% of all autoimmune disease diagnosis, unfortunately and surprisingly, are women.
Yep.
And then in our community, well, that number is disproportionate big time.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in a new era. Something is happening, something is going on as far as not only with MS, but autoimmune diseases across the board, especially in our community. What once it registered with you, because I think you did a whole lot better with it than I did. And you went into action much faster than I did. How did that process go with you, not only mentally but spiritually? Because to get a diagnosis like that, people really don't understand until, unfortunately, they go through it. It's like your whole life flashes before your eyes.
I just wanted to be normal, right? So I kind of wanted to sweep it under the rug. I wanted to say, it's a problem. I'm going to solve it. Let's solve it. You know, especially since I was 30, I was like, okay, I have a heads up on this, right? Because he's telling me what it is. I still haven't seen a specific neurologist yet. That didn't come until November, but I was able to get a brain scan at an imaging place, like immediately in July. But even that, like those results, that's another thing. But I think I was afraid. I was afraid. So I took action immediately. When I got those results in, I went to Dr. Google, right? I don't recommend do that. Don't do that. Don't go to Dr. Google. But I went to Dr. Google and I was like, how do you reverse any type of brain disease? Because it said it looked like MS, but it wasn't confirmed that it was MS. So I literally, upon getting those results, I went home and I was like, sugar, you got to go. Just from what I found from Google, sugar, you got to go. Flour, you got to go. Everything went into the trash that night, literally. And I started changing my life. My eating habits, right? It's not what it is today, but I started doing what I thought would be better. And you know what? Honestly, that helped me. I felt better, like immediately.
Right.
My mistake was I did a diet, like you said, instead of a lifestyle. I changed all those things. And very silly, I thought by 2019, I healed myself. That is absolutely absurd, right? So I felt it made me feel better, but yeah, there's no such thing as a diet. This is a lifestyle, a life forever. But just to answer your question, yeah, I didn't want to accept it. I was in denial for a long time. I didn't go public with this. So I was diagnosed in 2016. I didn't go public to 2020. Yeah, COVID. Yep, 2020.
Wow. Because I wasn't, unless you was close to me, I really wasn't talking about it. Because I was still processing. As a matter of fact, it was quite a few years later. I'm still processing the fact that whatever I thought my life was before, it's not that anymore.
Yes.
And it took a while, and this is why I applaud you, and I applaud anyone who takes action and get an understanding that, okay, I need to make a lifestyle change. Now, even though you said initially, you said you changed and you called it a diet, but your awareness was already there. I didn't warm to the idea as far as changing my lifestyle until some years later. Of course, now, you know, I'm enjoying the benefits. But I want to ask you a question too, because I really want to pull out this point. I noticed that you described that situation where the TV got blurry and it was surrounding a moment of stress. I can go back and think where right around my highest issue as far as noticing that something was really, really wrong
Mm-hmm.
was during a time of stress.
Yes.
And even to this day, if I am involved in a high level of stress for a long period of time, for too long, I will have a flare.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, I dealt with that in December. It wasn't the issue of me eating the wrong foods. It wasn't the issue with me being in some type of chemical environment. This was strictly stress related. I had been going and going and going and going ever since April of last year, and I never really took the proper rest. So all it did was just over time accumulated stress, and then it just got to the point it was Thanksgiving holiday that weekend. Matter of fact, I was in Atlanta, and I felt it coming. You know when you know when one is coming, and you be like, you still go through the denial process. And I'm like, okay, well, if I get some good sleep tonight, I'll be okay.
Right. Right.
I would get that good sleep, but then 3 hours later, I would still feel it coming on. I said, oh my God. So speak to stress. Speak to how that plays a role, not only with MS, but with any autoimmune disease.
Yes, stress wreaks havoc in the body. It is huge inflammation in the body. So it's interesting. I just had a conversation with a close friend about COVID, right? The side effects of
Mhm.
COVID even after it's over. Stress is huge. That affects her. And she said the very same thing. She was like, I became diagnosed with COVID because I was in a stressful environment, right? So she was probably at a party. Everybody at the party didn't have it. You know, it's
Right.
stress is 100% stress. It wreaks havoc on the body. And it's very interesting to tie back what you said about women of color, right? We are often, not that men are not stressed, right? But women of
Exactly.
color, we're like, we can handle it. We can handle it. Put more on our plate. Put more on our plate. Put more. But we're humans. We have to remember that. But that is why it affects us, because stress
And,
is number one.
and this whole idea, and I know some people would disagree with me, but for us in this community, I think we need to do away, and I know it's going to take some time, but we need to change. We need to change to the point where we do away with this whole idea of the strong black woman,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
because that narrative to me places unnecessary weight on her because she is human just like everybody else.
Very true.
Somehow or another, we have normalized that, and that's not normal.
Right.
There's so many issues that I could go in just with that particular statement. So we have to change
Mm-hmm.
as far as that narrative is concerned.
Yes.
Because if you dig down into the numbers dealing with autoimmune diseases, that's why the numbers are so proportionately out of whack,
Yes. Stress,
affecting our community.
stress and
Just
food.
stress and stress alone.
And food, right? Now our food doesn't have any nutrients in it. It doesn't have nutrients. So the body is like, all right, you're not giving me anything to fight back. So I'm not fighting back for you. So I'm about to go over here on break. So whatever happens, happens. That's what your immune system does, right?
Right, right.
And but stress wreaks havoc. I'll tell you a story, right? A very personal story, and this happened to me. So I told you I thought I healed myself. So in 2019, the last Friday of 2019, I experienced a flare. But to rewind, 3 months before that, I was living my best life. I was in Jamaica, holiday parties. It was the last 3 months of the year. I was living my best life. I had more sugar in those three.
Oh,
Yeah, in those 3
woo.
months than I had all year. Jamaica was all inclusive. I was like, yeah, bring that cookie over here, bring that drink over here, you know? And honestly, the last Friday of the year, God shut everything down. I was numb from the soles of my feet all the way up until my neck. I had to relearn how to walk. I had to do all that stuff. Stressed, right? And I worked at a very popular ophthalmology. It was the whole December was stressful, okay? And I was the only optician. I was good at what I do. I loved what I did, but it was stressful. It was
Mm-hmm.
busy. And all those things I didn't realize. I kind of knew, but then I didn't, I didn't think, I thought, oh, I can handle it. But my body was
Mm-hmm.
like, no, we over you. We're done with
Yeah.
trying to help.
No, and our bodies have a way of saying they don't care how we feel.
Yep.
Our bodies are like, all right, I'm out. I'm gonna head out.
Mm-hmm.
And you gonna lay down or you gonna sit down, but you gonna get down
Right,
because you need to stop.
right.
So, I want to kind of take this conversation into an area. I want to pin it right there
Uh-huh.
because I think this conversation is broader, but it also fits what we're talking about. One night you and I were chatting
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning conversations as far as you coming here on the podcast, and you turned me on to a movie,
Mm-hmm.
and I looked at that movie. And you know how you can look at something and say you knew that, but to actually see it played out and really see individuals that were affected because we get numb. We got so much going on now. The good thing about social media is that we're able to connect with people.
Mm-hmm.
The bad thing about social media, we're able to connect with people, and especially if we're trying to live vicariously through them.
Right.
And sometimes we'll get so busy trying to do that we ignore the humanity behind the individuals that are behind the cameras and behind the keyboards.
Mm-hmm.
And so that movie, which by the way is called "They're Trying to Kill Us."
How
I don't know.
powerful.
That's a very powerful movie. I really encourage anyone who is watching this right now, go check it out on YouTube. Hopefully they have not taken it down yet, and I say that for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So hint, hint, clue, clue. But it goes into detail as far as just our food supply, and then from certain issues that we deal with in our own community as it pertains to food deserts and how certain things have been set into place. This is like that it was planned.
Yes.
It was planned. And what that movie did for me, I was already aware, but it really heightened my awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me grateful for the journey that I really embarked on in August of 2019 when I said, okay, enough is enough. I really need to take my health back because I can't live like this. Because I'm 360 some pounds at that time.
Mm-hmm.
When did you really start tying into eating lifestyle, and then not only that, but not only what was in our foods, but what wasn't in it? Because I can tell you right now, from a nutrient density standpoint, I know that our food is not the same as it was 30 years ago.
Right.
I can go back and think about when my grandmother was cooking dinner and cooking greens. I know the greens of today might not necessarily be as nutrient rich as they were back then.
Mm-hmm.
So
Definitely.
you becoming a health coach and then really digging down and sort of like going into the rabbit hole. And I say it that way because anybody that's going to get down with Dr. Terry Walls, that's just what that is. And kind of elaborate on that because it's going to kind of lead me into, and this will not be the majority of the conversation, but I will bring up just a few of the products that we have with Total Life Changes. But I wanted to bring a voice that was not a part of Total Life Changes so people can understand we're not out here just flapping our gums because we don't know what we're talking about. No, this is very, very real. So from a nutrient, from a vitamin, from a mineral standpoint, you doing the research, you getting the certifications now. Talk to us about how important it is, especially those of us with autoimmune diseases, how important it is for us to detox.
Super.
How important it is for us to actually replenish ourselves with the right vitamins and minerals.
Super.
Just kind of go into that.
Super important. So anyone that's watching, that's listening, is going to listen to the replay, you are in for a treat, right? Because I'm not holding anything back. So a little bit going back to 2016 when the doctor diagnosed me with MS. I was like, wait a minute, my uncle, diabetes, right? That's a circulation problem. My grandfather had to get his legs amputated. That's a circulation problem. My grandmother suffers from dementia. That's a circulation problem. Once you study these, I was like, wait, there's something bigger that's going on. There's an issue here.
Right.
So I didn't want to just take the medicine and they just say you be treated for life. MS is not a dog. I don't want to give it a treat. Like, I don't want to give it a treat. I want it to be gone. Like, it's
Wow. That was huge.
So a big thing, and this is a key thing, that's the number one thing. Any disease starts in the blood, right? So the blood is huge. For people of color, iron is huge. Iron is huge. We have to get that. And what you get over the counter in the stores is not it, because I've tried that years ago. My PCP wanted me to, I was anemic, right? So wanted me to try iron over the counter. My heart almost stopped. I was like, oh my goodness, what is this? I'm not taking that anymore. But iron is huge. That is huge. You need to do that. We have an issue. People of color, we have an issue because we love our foods to taste good. And I want my foods to taste good too. But it has to have some damn nutrients in these foods. It has to. Right. Our body needs that. It needs it. So iron is number one, right? You have to get your blood circulating. You have to find a doctor that's going to help you get your body circulated. I don't want you to give all your power to a doctor. Figure out what it is that you want, right? And then find a doctor that aligns with that. I don't care what school they went to. If they're not lining up with what you want for your life, they're not going to help. And this is what I don't know where I get all this courage from, but I ask my doctors these questions. And I'm able to tell them in a nice way, right? In a nice way. But I tell them, you work for me. Like, you have to answer my questions. We forget that when they put on the white coat. But if it wasn't for us, the patient, they wouldn't get paid. I don't care what their salary is. So if it wasn't for us, so we have to take our power back. So, okay, iron is number one, right? I think whenever you're dealing with autoimmunity, it is super important, specifically with MS, the B vitamins. The B vitamins are crucial. Yeah. You have to have your B vitamins. I have mine every day. And then on a whole, like this is for everybody, whether you're diagnosed with anything or you're not diagnosed, autoimmunity or no autoimmunity, vitamin D. It's so super important.
And let's dig down even further. Vitamin D3.
Three, yep.
That is the one, especially. And that's the reason why it's more important for us is because of the melanin in our skin. It protects us as far as the sun is concerned. However, the sun is the actual triggering mechanism for our bodies to produce its own natural D3. However, though, we're living in a time now where our exposure to the sun, because of our lifestyles, is very limited. Most of us work indoors. Yeah. And then once we finish working indoors, a lot of times, if we go outdoors, it's to go indoors somewhere else. So we're not getting that sunlight the way that we need to. So having that type of supplementation is necessary in this day and time.
And I wanted to add, when you were talking about females, that's another reason why numbers are so high, right? I'm going to speak as a female and be honest. And ladies, you can all agree. If it is hot, we are not staying outside because that is going to mess up our hair, right? So that is another thing. I'm sorry. Like, now I know better. I know I have to go out there. You have to get this. This is good for your body. But before I knew better, it was like, and this is like common for a lot of people. We're just like, oh no, we're going in the house. It's here. So I just came from the on. I'm going in the house, and we rob our body from vitamin D3. We honestly do. And that's another reason that women of color, that's why I'm standing up and saying, look, you put that here in a pony, do it later. Go for your run, get your circulation going and all that stuff. Make sure you get your supplements. but you got to take care of you. And that's one thing I didn't do. I was like, oh no, just got my hair done. I'm going in the house. But I just wanted to say that to your point.
Now, as far as detoxing, and of course, I'm bringing up that point because one of the most famous products that Total Life Changes has been known for is the original ISOT, which is a gentle herbal detox. It's not a laxative. And I have to add this too. It's not a weight loss tea. It is a waist loss tea.
Yeah.
You got ginger, you have myrrh, you have chamomile, you have papaya, you have persimmon. You have 9 herbs in that detox. As it pertains to detox, how does that help as far as the body is concerned, especially at the beginning of your journey where you're just literally saying, you know what, I have to hit the reset button on my health.
Right.
How important was that for you?
Your detoxing allows you to clean your gut out. Your gut is they say second brain. I feel like it's your twin brain, right? It is a gut brain connection for sure. So the detox, it has to be cleaned out. There's no healing if you don't detox. There's no healing. You can't clean it out. It's like if you're trying to clean out a fish tank or something and it's dirty and you clean it out, you're cleaning it with dirty water. It's not going to work. So the herbs, which I like to add, and I tell everyone, was created by the creator, right? That's number one.
Right.
If the creator created it, it's going to be awesome. I feel like man just felt like we were so smart that we're really not that smart. I mean, we do a lot of things, but we're not smarter than the creator. And that's why I love all things detox, because it's getting the things out of the way that needs to be out of the way. And losing weight is exactly what it is. People feel like they can eat that Snicker bar, eat that candy and stuff, and it just goes away. No, it is stuck in the lining of your gut, right? And you have to get that clean. That is causing disease. People don't correlate what they put in their mouth as of the reason that they have a disease. It is 100% the reason why you have the disease. That Snicker bar does not just come out like you think when you go to the bathroom the next day. If you're going to the bathroom the same day or the next day, it does not. It sticks to the lining of the walls in your gut, and that's creating a problem. After a while, your gut, your body is like, okay, this is too much junk. And then you start to feel the pains and things like that. So detox is very important. It's necessary. You can't heal without it.
Exactly. I just want to make sure I just put the picture up just in case somebody wants to know, well, what tea you talk about? This is the tea. You want more information, just inbox me because I really want to get a little bit further in the story. Now, you do realize this is not your first time being on here. No, you got to come back. Okay. You got to come back. Now that we have detox, how important it is, and once again, I hate using the word diet. How important is it for your eating lifestyle to now begin to replenish, or even replace what was not there in the first place? How, as far as food is concerned, and also too, just by supplements. How important is that?
It's necessary, right? It's necessary. What I tell all my clients to do, it's necessary that everyone gets with their doctor, with their primary care doctor, but they get a food intolerance test or they get some type of vitamin level check, right? Because we're saying all the vitamins, that's great to take, right? But if you're already super high in the B vitamins, maybe you don't need to take as much as we're saying, right? So I always recommend to definitely get a vitamin level check to see what you need, right? Your D could be all the way down here. Maybe you need to work on your vitamin D level. So I would always start there, doing a vitamin level check, checking on that and seeing like where you can go from there. But food is super important. Like food is everything. I get this question all of the time and I can relate, right? Because I used to be this person. It is not a diet. You cannot say, oh, I did the detox, Bobby. I did the detox you told me to. And then they're on the way to wherever it is that they're eating. It's not that you can't it's not that you can't enjoy yourself.
You got to change. You got to.
Change. And it has to be more good than bad. I explained that to one of my friends too. I don't want anyone to think there's a such thing as perfection. I'm a health coach, but I'm not perfect, right? But you have to put more good in your body than bad. You have to find out what it is that your body needs and give your body more of that. Everybody is different, right? Maybe my B levels are different than yours body, right? So I would
Right.
recommend that people get a vitamin level check and then go from there and see what it is that they need. But you have to change the way you eat, right? I'm not saying to be perfect, to eat salads all day, but you have
Right.
to. And I have a tip for everyone, right? I would say you can knock things out. I'm not saying you're done, but you can start the day with a smoothie. Start the day with a smoothie. That's a huge benefit. You can get your I love fruit. Like, I'm big on fruit, but you can like put your fruit stuff. You can do that stuff. Make have your vitamins, right? You have the vitamins that you're taking,
Right.
and put your smoothie in there, and you're getting your greens, however you want to make it. Just do that.
Right.
You have to make a change. It has to be changed. I didn't know that I had to make a change. So God shook me and was like, "You're going to change right now. You're not going to go anywhere." And he, that.
Well, the reason why he did that, because this is your assignment. This you're walking in what you're supposed to be walking in, and unfortunately, we go through this crazy stuff, but it literally ushers us to where we're supposed to be
Right.
in the first place.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you just now coming in, this is Anita Monique. She is the autoimmune bully. If you're not already following her, go ahead and hit that drop down box up at the top left hand corner of your screen and follow her, please. Trust and believe. You want to get to know this gift right here for sure. As far as the vitamins and minerals, of course, Total Life Changes has the bomb, NutriBurst. Some of us, we have such an affinity for this, we call it NutriBay. and from a nutritional standpoint, it has the equivalency in 1 tablespoon of 10 healthy salads.
Wow.
That's how nutrient rich this is right here. This has been a part of my life for quite some time now, as a matter of fact. So, of course, I'm not going to hold and promote anything that I'm not using myself.
Right.
And I'm telling you, it has been a vital part, detoxing, making sure that I replenish, and also, too, using other products like chaga, because I use chaga for inflammation and dealing with that. It has been a huge asset in my life. I don't know about you, because there's a reason why they call MS the snowflake disease, because not two people have the exact same symptoms. I used to deal real bad with anxiety, panic attacks. I use CBD. We have a product called, actually we got 2. One is Harmony and the other one is Melody. Melody is the more powerful one. I'm a Melody man. I need all that. I need all of it. So, but here's what I really love about you. I like that you break this down in a form as to which everybody can understand. I've talked with other individuals that have extensive knowledge, but it doesn't break down. It doesn't relate. I can appreciate how you break this down and it relates to everybody so they can understand. And I'm being mindful of the time because I know you have.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about the time. Don't worry about that. This is very enjoyable. So we're not on time restrictions.
Now, you talk about the time when you was on a diet versus changing your lifestyle. Once you changed your lifestyle, when did your body go into full agreement? And when I say full agreement, I'm not talking about perfection.
Right.
Because even with everything that I do right now, it's not perfect.
Right.
I understand. I've come to the realization I'm not the same Bobby in 2021 or 2022 as I was in 1997.
Right.
That guy is gone.
Right.
I had to be real with myself. And this goes for with anybody that's dealing with any autoimmune disease. I had to make that lifestyle change, and I had to be fully committed to myself. And I say that for a reason, because a lot of us, we lead lifestyles and have led lifestyles that have helped out and made sure that everybody else was good.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up neglecting ourselves. And I really, really want to push the point and make it okay. It is okay to stand in that mirror and first of all say, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I bring that part up, and I was actually coaching somebody the other day, and I shared a very personal experience, and this ties into our healing. I know it does. It took me quite some time to get this simple realization because we're real good at showing love and telling people how the Most High loves them.
Right.
But I had to get to a place where I had this realization right here. And it's very simple, Anita. If the Most High love us and we love him and his spirit resides in us, how much sense does it make for us to not love ourselves?
Very, very powerful.
When I got that, I spent 30 minutes in tears just saying, I love me.
That's very healing. Yep.
And I want to encourage anybody that's going through right now, you need to do that.
Yep.
You really need to do that because part of your healing is actually coming to terms with the fact that you must love yourself.
Right, right.
It is okay to put yourself first.
Right. Yep.
Now, going back to the light bulb moment with you, and you said, okay, this is a lifestyle, and you felt that shift in your health. When did that happen for you?
I wanted to comment on something you said about making it simple, right? I wanted to thank you for the compliment, right? Because I want to do that because healing is that. It's simple. When people make it difficult and complicated, that's because, this is my opinion, I feel like someone tricked them and bamboozled them into going to school and having all this, they're learning all these big words, and then they're learning that kale, 4-letter word, is healing people, right? And they have to, they're basically like, oh, somebody bamboozled me, so I'm gonna bamboozle them. But it's really not that hard. God wouldn't trick us. We don't have to like learn all these things. You know, it's crazy.
Right.
I get super excited about that. But when I had a pivotal moment, I'm not sure if my camera shows it, the Dr. Bobby Price, that's my doctor right there, right? He's the reason why when I went home and prayed, I immediately found him. So he was a pharmacist, and then he's a holistic doctor now, right? So he has a book called Vegetation Over Medication. Do I have it? Yeah. Vegetation Over Medication. I read this book. It took me years to become a vegan. I'm a vegan now, but literally just became one years after reading this book. He's basically telling the truth because he knows what pharmaceutical medicine can do, right?
Right.
He's just saying, hey, this is really what's going to heal you. Like this, he was a doctor. His story is dope. It's amazing. He was a doctor. He was a pharmacist. And he was like, wait a minute. And he talks about in the book.
There's something is wrong.
Wait a minute. These people keep coming back year after year. I want to heal people. I'm not doing that, you know? So then eventually led him to this path, you know? So I think that pivotal moment, and it was last summer, we had what we call Tribe Healing Day. So we had a tribe healing day with him. It was just that energy with everyone being around each other. Community is everything. We had like just that energy around, and I made the decision from that day, I'm going to become a vegan. That was a Saturday. I became a vegan that very next Monday, right? And that was the thing. I was like, I'm doing this for my health. So you have a lot of people, especially in the vegan community, and I'm always very honest, Bobby, you know me, I'm very authentic. Authenticity is like everything to me, right? So there are so many vegans that talk about they're vegan for animals. That's not my fight. That is not Anita Monique. I am a Black woman.
Right.
I am vegan for my damn health. And that is the 100% truth.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that people aren't healthy if they're not, but I just needed this is what my body needed, right? So you're not going to find me in front of Macy's or anywhere throwing paint on anyone's leather. That's
Exactly.
not me. That is not my fight. I have people that look like me that get killed like animals all the time. I'm protesting for one or the other. I can't be at two protests, you know?
Preach, girl, preach.
That was the moment when it was like a teacher, like I prayed for healing, right? I prayed for healing, and God was like, bam, I'm giving you a whole community of people that can help you be better. And that's when I had my moment. My light bulb went off. Even inside that community, I have a sister that had like diagnosed like me, like, you know, and it's just amazing to see how well she's doing, and that this stuff is not just a lie. When you have a community and you can talk to people like, okay, how are you feeling? What are you doing? How are you cooking that mushroom? How are you cooking this, those chickpeas, you know, and just learning. So that is my pivotal moment, like having that community, being able to talk to Dr. Bobby and literally, like, you know, ask questions, because I ask the questions because he knows the answers. Like, yeah, so that's my moment. So I've been vegan since June 29th, 2021. I can say last year now. I'm so happy since the new year, last year. So it hasn't been a complete year yet, but for a few months.
Okay, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I had actually pinned her website in the comments, the autoimmunebully.com. Please reach out to her, get a consultation, because especially those of us that are dealing with autoimmune diseases, we need to be very, very intentional as to how we are walking this out. Now, I myself am not vegan. However, I have pretty much diminished or literally demolished and got rid of. I haven't had pork in I don't know how long.
Right.
We talking about some double-digit years now.
Right. Good.
Beef, I might have it once a year, maybe. But if I don't have a piece of beef, I'm not gonna lose no sleep. Trust and believe. Now I'm gonna tell you what my strongest adversary, my biggest weakness, have been over the years, and that's the barnyard pimp, aka chicken.
Yeah, yeah.
And because that, from a cultural standpoint, for a lot of us, that has been a mainstay as far as our diet is concerned. Now, this is kind of venturing off into another conversation that we can have, you know, on another episode. But I began to educate myself as far as just the blood type that I have. What foods will cause the most acidic response in my body, and unfortunately, chicken was one of them. And I noticed how when I would get rid of chicken out of my eating lifestyle, I began to feel even better, and the weight started falling off even more.
Yes.
I said, okay.
That's awesome.
Okay, there's something going on here. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I might have me a little bit of chicken or something once every quarter. Okay, all right. So I'm adding this to the conversation as far as you being vegan, me being sometimey with the meat. Now,
veganish.
Now turkey, I would eat turkey, but I don't even really have it that often. Now I love salmon.
Right.
Salmon is part of my is part of my regular eating lifestyle. But it's gotten to the point now, Anita, I might have that once out of the week. Most of my meals are plant-based now. Right? And I never thought that I would get to that point.
Me either.
But what ended up happening is that I noticed that as I began to drill down even more as far as just understanding, first of all, my own body. Because I knew going the traditional route, that was not going to work for me. You know, when I had asked them originally when I got diagnosed, you know, okay, well, what do I do now? And they said, well, we're going to put you on beta seron. I said, okay. And I was going to have to inject myself like every other day. So I actually did the research on the beta serons that they was offering at that time. And the basic understanding was this, is that I was introducing a foreign entity inside my body.
Absolutely.
So my immune system was going to go attack that. However, though, after a period of time, my body may not recognize that as a foreign entity anymore.
Mhm.
And so the autoimmune response would kick right back up and turn against me
Mhm.
all over again. So I asked them, I said, well, when that happens, what do we do next? And their only response was,
Trust.
we'll just put you on another medication. I said,
Always do.
nah,
Yeah.
no. That's my personal journey. That may work for somebody else. I'm like you, Anita. I would much rather have my way of healing come from the manufacturer that created me in the first place.
Yes, absolutely.
That when I became fully committed to that, and it coincided so much as far as my journey dealing with MS, and especially here in the last couple of years, I can tell you that when you really, really, really drill down and be 10 toes down, ankles dug in the dirt, and you get serious about your health, it might not cure it. And I want to make sure that even with the supplements and the products that I offer on this podcast, look, we don't make any medical claims. We don't claim to cure or mitigate any diseases. These are personal experiences from individuals that have gotten their results using the products themselves. I have someone who is not even tied to total life changes at all, period. But there is a basic foundation on how, from a holistic standpoint, that we deal with these autoimmune diseases, because autoimmune diseases, all of them, they have their specific pinpoint strength. MS concentrates on attacking, with the central nervous system, the brain, and your spinal cord.
Mm-hmm.
Crohn's disease,
Stomach. Yep.
About fibromyalgia a lot of times, and other, issues as far as the gut is specific to the gut. Arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, that is very specific as far as the joints are concerned.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all an overreaction of the immune system.
Yes.
And when we begin to understand, okay, well, what are some of the triggers? And we have to go and investigate what we're literally putting inside of our bodies.
Yep.
And that's where the beginning of healing, that's where it is. That's where it is. I appreciate your expertise so much. And like I said, I meant what I said. This wasn't no fluff. You got to come back. You
Absolutely.
just got to come back. You got to come back. And I pray that somebody actually reaches out to you, because you have a specific protocol that you use as far as just developing plans based on that individual, because everybody is not the same. Everybody don't have the exact same needs. So I want to make sure that you all go and support her, and please get a consultation from the autoimmune bully. Now, let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
I got the question, and I've been saving this because you and I talked the other night, and I made sure I didn't ask you this question right here, because I wanted to save it for the podcast.
Okay.
Who came up with the idea with you with the pink boxing gloves? Because that is you. That is you all the way.
Me 100% with the pink boxing gloves. The idea, the name Autoimmune Bully, that was God, right? That was just God. One day I was on Clubhouse. He's like, this is going to be your name, right? I can't even take the credit for the name. It was just downloaded into me. But the pink boxing gloves, I'm an AKA, right? I love pink, clearly.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. I love pink. So I was like, okay. I like the pink boxing gloves, and that's 100%, Bobby. What I had to do, I had to fight MS. Like, any autoimmune, it is not going to be easy. When you decide to go holistic, when you decide to do natural, it is not going to be easy. The reason why people decide to take treatment is because that's immediate. That's something immediate. But for me, that didn't make sense. And tell me if that does IG tell you, would they give you a time limit on it?
No, because there are times when I'm actually going over an hour, as far as
good.
Yeah,
so perfect. I'm sorry, but yes, you have to fight back. So I'm all things take your power back, right? So I felt like the pink boxing gloves were powerful. And that's what I had to do with MS. I had to put the boxing gloves on. It's not going to be easy. This ride of healing, this journey has not been easy. But like my picture right here, I'm making lemonade out of lemons. Life tried to give me lemons. I'm like, pour it up, give me the glass. I'm going to make lemonade out of this. And I'm doing things that people didn't think were possible. I have people that genuinely care about me, right? And they're like, why don't you take the medicine? I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm the autoimmune bully. I'm not I'm not going to do that. But I know they genuinely care. But this is what I want people to know. Like, we're living a holistic lifestyle. What you're doing, Bobby, we're treating MS is being treated. We're not ignoring it like, oh, yeah, we don't have it.
Exactly.
I've done that before, right? Doesn't work. Doesn't work at all.
And that's where the problems come in at.
Right. It's being treated, but it's being treated naturally by what the creator made and things such as that. So I definitely wanted to show everyone the book because I'm a Walls practitioner, but this is her book, The Walls Protocol. Anyone that's diagnosed with multiple sclerosis should know this book, right? They should know who it is. But even if you don't have MS, any autoimmunity, she's my hero, right? She's one of my heroes. She got out of a chair. She was diagnosed with MS in 2000. She was in a wheelchair for like 6 or 7 years. She got out of the wheelchair. Yes, she was treated. I know a lot of people say the medicine did it. The medicine did it. It did not. The medicine is not made to make anyone better, right? When it comes to autoimmunity, it's not made to make anyone better. What made her better is her eating lifestyle.
The change in the diet.
Yes, her eating lifestyle got her out of that wheelchair, and that's for sure. And there's some herbal supplements. There's some other things that she did too, but that's what got her out of the chair. I've had this conversation with plenty of people. They're like, yeah, but she was treated up. That didn't do anything. That
didn't do anything. She was still in the chair while she was being treated.
And then,
and I can identify a little bit with that because at once upon a time, I had to walk with a cane. So I that was my reality. As a matter of fact, one of my transformation pictures is floating around here, and if you look in my right hand, there's the cane.
Me too.
Now I am so grateful. I don't need that anymore. I don't need the cane anymore. But that came through working hard and being very diligent and being very, very intentional about taking my healing to as far as and as close to being perfect as much as possible. And without making those changes from a health perspective, I can tell you, I wouldn't be able to sit here and have this conversation that I'm having with you right now. I've been fortunate enough. I got some great products through Total Life Changes. I am very, very, very grateful for Total Life Changes. Jack Fallon, the CEO, Mr. John LeCari, the COO, those gentlemen, I don't think they really understand how much they are literally turning the world upside down by what they're doing. And it's all happening out of love and the commitment of just want to make sure that people's lives become better, not only, through our bodies, but also through our minds and also our spirits. And if we do not approach it from a holistic standpoint, we leave ourselves vulnerable to everything else out here. I've been blessed. I've been tremendously blessed. I've dropped 180 pounds so far.
Awesome.
I'm not done, but it's been one heck of a journey. And I'm pretty sure you can identify with this. There are just some days I ain't feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I don't want to be bothered. But then you get that inbox or you get that text. Somebody sends you a message and you're reminded of your assignment. And then you got to get up out your feelings.
Right.
Because it ain't no help in there. There's no help in there. So I want to take the opportunity to just thank you for taking the time out to come on this podcast because you didn't have to. But I see you going far. Like There's gonna come a time where you know you might not even have time to come by and do podcasts like this because you just gonna be so in high demand. Um, your heart, your energy, just everything about you and how you're approaching this is so amazing. So I see great success. I see you going far, and just go do it. I mean, that's bold. I mean, you call yourself the autoimmune bully, but that's appropriate because these diseases don't care nothing about us
At all. Yeah,
at
at all.
all.
Yeah.
So you got to be just as arrogant, just as aggressive,
Yeah.
you know, with your own health and teaching others how to do the same because the enemy ain't going to play.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we need to show up and want to play?
Yep. Very true. Very true.
So in ending and closing this amazing episode, this has been, we'll talk later, but this
Okay.
has just been amazing. In closing, if you wanted to leave a word of advice for somebody that may perhaps want to start dealing with their particular issues from a holistic standpoint, you know, really dealing with their eating lifestyle, what encouragement would you want to give to that beginner, the one that they know something ain't right,
Mm-hmm.
they just need a little bit of help?
Right. Right. I want to first thank you, right? Thank you for your compliments. Of course, I will definitely come back because my passion is helping people. I want to help people because we have been bamboozled and tricked, right? It's for the pockets of other things. And I'm not saying like negating medicine. If it works for people, great. But if it doesn't, I'm doing this for the people it does not work for, right?
Right.
Hey, I'm being the living proof and the example that I tried a different way and I'm still here, right? I'm still here.
Yeah.
Not to say that I don't have like the complications because MS is brutal. So I gotta fight back even in winter, even when it's cold and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna go walking. And I say that to my back gonna be like, okay, you don't want to go walking, you know, you don't want to go outside and work out. So I just wanted to say that I do this to be an example, 100%. But if I had to give any first words to a beginner, right, I would say this is my tagline. I love it. But take your damn power back. We give our power away to anyone in a white coat, especially people of color, because we feel like and they do it professionally, right? So they see a lot of people with the diagnosis, but take your damn power back. Take their advice. I'm not telling you don't listen to them, right? Listen to what they're saying. They are professionals, but they've known you for 20 damn minutes. You know yourself forever. You know yourself. So I want you to count that. That counts. Don't discredit how you're feeling for someone that know you for 20 damn minutes. That doesn't make sense. So I'm the person to stir the pot there. Yes, people need guidance and they need help, but doctors are wrong for negating how someone feels. Like they've been in this body forever. I don't care what school you went to. You can't tell me how I feel. I've been in this body for 35 years, you know? So I would say that just to your opinion matters, how you feel matters, right? And get with someone that has done what you want, right? So if you want to be healed from your autoimmunity, get with a healer that can heal. If your doctor has never healed anybody, they're not going to be able to help you. That's just common sense, people. I'm not telling you not to go to the doctor. If you want your disease to be treated, go and do conventional medicine. But if you want to be healed, your conventional doctor ain't never healed anybody. Check the scoreboard. That's what I tell everyone. Use your common sense. Pull out your common sense. Conventional medicine ain't healed nobody. They ain't trying to heal nobody because they're trying to get to that check. And I can't, I can't knock them. That's their hustle. But if you want to be healed from things, it's possible, right? But it's going to take work. You have to work for it. There's no pill for any ill or every ill. That's a damn lie. That's a lie to get in your pockets. There's no pill for every ill. You have to work for this every day. And then, yes, you can reverse it. things can be reversed, but you can't go back to that same lifestyle that caused it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's it. This is my passion. I'm here for it. I'm here to spread the word. I didn't know that I would be living proof, right? But God is like, I'm gonna use you. Get in line.
Yeah.
So that is what I'm here to do.
Well, yeah. Once again, thank you for just sharing yourself. Y'all put some fire in chat. I mean, she is just absolutely amazing. The autoimmune bully. Please check her out. If you're not already following her, hit that drop box. Go ahead and follow now, because trust and believe she's gonna bless your life. Yes, she's coming back. We're gonna work that out
Absolutely.
later on, because I see this podcast literally developing community now.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, I want to see people have the opportunity to take their life back.
Yep.
Part of the reason why it's called The Victim No More is because in most of our circumstances, we ain't nobody's victim.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, we may have been victimized,
Yes,
but we are nobody's victim. And we can't control what them other folk do, but we can control what we do. And it's about taking that ownership and just doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's hard. But then when you do it, somebody is able to look at you and be encouraged and say, okay, if they did it,
right.
then why can't I? That's why I know people look at you, Anita, and say, man, and once upon a time, she had to deal with not even being able to move around.
Mm-hmm.
And look at her now. I know people look at me and be like, he ain't got no MS. Oh, yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get on and talk about my pain every day.
Right.
I gotta turn that energy and put it into some place where it's gonna serve me.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Makes sense.
Woo! I don't want to end here, but we got to end here. You're coming back. We got to do this again because there's so many other topics within the topic that we're discussing that could be dissected, and I believe we can help a lot of people.
Absolutely.
You have been a tremendous blessing. Thank you again. I'm not going to stop thanking you.
I just having me.
The gratitude is just going to flow.
Thank you
Period.
for having me. And it just flowed. Like, it's easy when you're doing when you're walking in your purpose, right? It just flows. You don't have to prepare.
Yeah, because we really didn't discuss what we was going to discuss. Right. I mean, we like, okay, well, we going to get on and this is it. And the reason why I do a lot of my interviews this way, just so y'all know, I like to be led.
Right.
All right, Father, because I know that I ask the questions that will generate the answers for who is supposed to be listening,
right,
for them to catch what they need to catch.
Right.
That's just me. It doesn't make me any better than anybody else. But this podcast don't belong to me. It belongs to him.
Right. Right.
You know, this ain't something I just, I had a good idea one day and, let me just do a podcast and talk about some products. That's not what this is.
Right.
This right here is part of a much bigger assignment, and you not being a part of Total Life Changes is huge to me. It's huge to me because it was God's stamp in letting me know, son, there's something bigger.
Right.
There's something bigger. All right, family, look, my time is up. I thank you for yours, and you know how I end each and every podcast, basically every live that I do. I love each and every one of you. It is absolutely nothing, I mean nothing, you can do about it. Until next time, peace.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.